What's up, Philadelphia Sixers fans? And all Philadelphia fans, of course. But we are live, coming to you about an hour plus away from tip-off. Game 1 against the Brooklyn Nets. A Ben Simmons-less Brooklyn Nets. Takes a little bit of the drama away from this series, but, it's still not something that you just want to glance over. This is not a team that you just want to, this is an easy series, and in particular because of Mikal Bridges. Longtime fans know my opinions on Mikal Bridges, but if you're new here, if anyone was maybe nearly as mad as Bridges on Sixers on draft day, it was probably me. It's a guy before the draft I was begging for them to get, then they draft him, and I freak out. Then you trade him for Zhaire Smith, and alright, we're sold that we're going to get Kawhi Leonard. Well, that never happens. So here we are. Let me fix camera a little bit. I just realized chat was kind of over top of me. But yes, like I said, this is where we stand now. So it's a team that you just don't want to glance over by any means. They have the star power in Bridges, but they don't have quite nearly the depth. And now that all being said and respect kind of given, and I'll continue to give it to them throughout the night, it's still the team that I would have wanted to play. Don't want to face Jimmy Butler, although I think that Giannis and the Bucks are going to take care of the Heat relatively easy. I don't think the Sixers could. But yeah, I see I got both of the Joes in chat. By the way, I see you guys out there. What's up? Embiid 40 and 15 today. Harden 20 and 15. Maxey 25. Bridges gets 30. That's Joe, put a parlay on that and see what you can get if you're a betting man. Sixers need Adam Stanley. What up, Steve? I said you wouldn't, and you did. What up, Steve? Good to see you in chat. Sixers need Boston Scott, don't they? Huh? That's Steve's he's going pro. Coulter Todd is going pro in Rocket League. Have I seen Hustle? So no. Ashamed to admit it, but I really need to check it out, and it's been on my list for a while. But then I play video games with you, or I'm streaming, or I'm watching sports. Or I'm watching Mandalorian, which has been hot right now, if anyone else has been into that. We got one more episode left. So it's been tough. It's been real tough. But yeah, I really need to see Hustle, especially for the Philadelphia connections. And on top of that, it sounds like it's a good movie. And I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I haven't enjoyed an Adam Sandler movie probably since Mr. Deeds, but I am an Adam Sandler fan. Check out Cocaine Bear on Peacock. Nah, I can't do that. I still haven't checked out the Boston Scott video you sent me to. Cocaine Bear. No, I'm not. I don't think I can do that. Isn't it kind of gory, too? It seems like a movie that looks like it's supposed to be funny, and then it's gory, and I don't do gore. I don't do gore. I might finish this screwdriver off pretty... I meant to make myself a second one, and I was going to pour them both in, but then time got away from me. I was trying to make my room as cool as possible before the show started. And we'll see. We'll see if I have to turn the window unit back on. We'll see. But it was definitely coming through on the mic, and I didn't want to start the show off that way. So yeah. I gotta pull up... let me pull some notes up. I should have did before the game. Why do we watch our teams lose? Yeah, but that's not blood. Although, although it kind of is. No, it's a good point. Yeah. Three championship. Although, admittedly, I was only part of two of them. You guys know I'm not a soccer guy, but I want the Union to win for everybody else. But yeah, those two losses were tough. The Eagles loss, as you guys know, put me into a bit of a depression. Put me into a bit of depression that I think I'm just coming out of. Maybe it's because there's home day. Maybe it's because there's there was opening day, and I got to go out there opening weekend for the home opening weekend. I don't count the USFL Stars. I don't. I barely count the Union, Joe. Don't get me. Let's not go to. No, I don't count the USFL, nor do I count the XFL or any other football league outside of. I've gotten like college football has even like I haven't even been watching that as much. But I have started watching more of the NFL. There was like a 2-year bit where I was like kind of burnt out on sports. I'm getting back into it. But yeah, I can't. It's not even that I can't. I'm just not going to because, look, let's take it for what it is. These dudes' brains are getting scrambled playing football. The NFL isn't even taking care of their former players. What are these dudes going to do when they're in their 50s and they're going nuts and they want to do harm to themselves or others because of CTE? There's also like a bit of a morality stand too. But no, that's that all being said, you guys know that morals are the least of my concerns. I just don't. I can't. It's unwatchable. Joe Hunter's even with me. Mercifully, the Flyer season has ended. Yes, and what Greg posted it on Facebook.com/WarRoomPhilly. I think the Bedard sweepstakes is at about a 7.8 chance or something like that. If they get Bedard in, then I'm happy. I don't know that I'm all the way back in. You guys know I'm a Flyers fan, and it's all front when I say I'm an Avalanche fan, right? But that being said, I'll be back in off the Avs bus, and they're going into the playoffs with them too. Yeah, I can't do the other football leagues, and I try my hardest to watch as much college as I can. And even that, excuse me. Even that, it's just, and it's not the product as much as I am burnt out on commercials. And it's seeing the same 4 to 7 commercials 374 times while watching a sports game. It's tough. And if you look, by all means, if you're watching the USFL, any of these other leagues, and you're like, hey man, but go do you. I watch esports. I am not here to talk down on anybody's opinions. I watch esports. I have no credibility. Or maybe that gives me more credibility. I say none, but like, that's why that's when I gave up the grudge against soccer and the Union and stuff. And not that I ever really had one, because I never want to see my fellow Philadelphia fans suffer. So I always wanted the Union to do well. I just couldn't care less. Now I think I'm a little like I'm not like as derogatory towards the sport of soccer anymore though, which I used to be. I think I used to call soccer not a sport, which we all know it is. But yeah, there's a lot on the docket today. It's a Sixers show. We're kind of freestyling right now, which I'm all for. If we want to kind of, there's not much else to talk about the Flyers than what we said. But if you have a Flyers point, get it in now, because there's not going to be, it's going to be one of these shows. I'm just telling you guys now, you've been here long enough. It's going to be one of those shows where I'm going to look at the time and I'm going to go, oh shit, it's 1:02. And then we're going to just wrap up. So there's not going to be much of a final thoughts. So we'll have first thoughts today. So get at any of the randomness. Cocaine Bear, USFL, get it all out now. We'll allow maybe people to join in, or they'll tune in and be like, this is bullshit, and leave. And it'll still be the same, 4 of us anyway. And, it is what it is. Sixers and 4, first round. I hope you're right. I think Sixers and 5. It could be Sixers and 6, just because the Sixers going to Sixer. Joe, you admittedly have been much higher on the Sixers than I have all year. So I've been trying to feed off that mojo. It's why I messaged you on Facebook before the show started. I needed your positive 76ers influence today because I am protected. That's, I think, the best word I can say about the Sixers right now is I'm protected when it comes to them. I have my guard up. It's hard for me to commit to this team because I've done it so much in the past, and it's bitten me in the ass. And what's different about this year? Well, what's different in a positive way, what's different in a positive way is I think James Harden and Joel Embiid right now are both playing at an extremely high level. But what's the same is I don't believe in this bench, and it's a borderline crime that Daryl Morey brought this bench into the second half of the season. Jalen McDaniels for Matisse Thybulle is the only move you make at the trade deadline. I still argue you made your team worse. So it's that. It's that is why I don't feel great about this Sixers team. That is why I don't feel Sixers in 4. But they're going to win this series. Don't get me wrong. They are going to win this series. I would say 5 or 6. But yeah, I mean, the good thing with the Sixers is their expectations for me are so low. Just don't get past the second round and I will feel at least somewhat happy. But ultimately, it's about a championship. Ultimately, when you have Joel Embiid, which, let's all admit, is a ticking time bomb when it comes to his prime, right? He's in his prime this year. We expect him to be, but it's like at any point, one more wrong fall, and he's no longer in his prime. And God damn it, I do not want to go through Allen Iverson and Joel Embiid without a championship for this city. So that's where, dare I say, a sense of desperation is there as a Sixers fan. Which is why I no matter what, I sit here and I say I'm protected, right? But I'm going to be hurt. No matter what we all say. I saw it in chat. I think, Joe, you said it. I'm immune. Where did I say it? I've been hurt 3 times in a 3-month span. I'm immune to it by now. You say that because you're trying to protect a little bit as well. But you know as well as I, if dare I say, when they don't win the championship, or whenever they may be bounced, we will be hurt. And we'll be hurt because we know that there is an increasingly shrinking window when you have James Harden, when you have Joel Embiid. So that's truly how I feel. Now it's on you guys to make me feel better about this team. That's how I feel. And again, that's why I need some positivity from chat. And I see Sixers. Joe, you did all of them, and I'll give you your credit now. That Boston Scott interview. Yeah, I'm definitely checking those. We had Sixers in 4 first round, Sixers in 6 against Boston, Sixers in 7 against Milwaukee, Sixers in 6 against Golden State. If that's all correct, I'll send you something. I don't know what, but I'll send you something. Screenshot that, Joe. Screenshot that and message it to me. Screenshot chat right now if you can. If not, I guess I have the technology. I'm gonna screenshot it. Hold on, I messed up. I don't know what kind of prize or what, but I'll send you something if that's right. We'll figure something out. I only watched 2 games, strictly band jumper. Hey, welcome aboard. I'm definitely not the fan you guys are, but Boston scares me more than Milwaukee for some reason. So I am equally scared of them. I'll say that. Boston has... Both teams have owned us, I think, 3-1 this season, if I'm not... Someone correct me. I don't even know if we beat the Bucks this year. Lost all 4. I believe it. And then Boston, we just won that last game, right? But it was whack. I know it was crazy either way. I think that was the only game we beat Boston this year. Yeah. That Boston game reminded me a lot of the Lakers game in like December, where I think it's the only time I've ever actually posted publicly something about firing Doc Rivers. They won the game too, which is hilarious. But it felt the same way, where they won, but you're like, holy shit, Doc Rivers tried his hardest to lose this game for us. He called a timeout late in the game in both of them. That timeout led to a turnover. Both games. They went 2-2 against Milwaukee, 1-3 against Boston. Yeah, I have the Milwaukee thing up, right? I know they went 1-3 against Boston. I'm 100% on that, but Milwaukee always slips in my mind. So by those means, then, Steve, you're right to be more scared by Boston. Boston historically owns us. I'm equally as scared. There's no wrong answer. I think if there was one player that deserves MVP more than Joel Embiid, which no one does, I think it's Giannis. I don't think JJ Redick's take is that hot. I know people in Philly are giving him a bit of flack for it, and maybe JJ Redick is trying a little too hard to not look like a homer. But if anyone in this league deserves MVP more than Joel, it is Giannis. I mean, look what Giannis has accomplished, too. It almost feels like Giannis doesn't get MVP because he's Giannis and we're used to it. But the dude is a freak, and he is leading. If you just look at it, from maybe a logic standpoint, he is the best player on the best team in the East Coast. Maybe even the NBA. I'd have to look that up. So, in my opinion, he's a very good candidate for MVP. I just look at what Joel Embiid has done over the last 3 years. And over one of those 3 years, he deserved the damn MVP. So it feels like the NBA is finally going to go, all right, well, this year we'll give you one based off of a 3-year resume, which is bullshit, by the way. How the NBA works is completely asinine. But yeah. We're going to take down everyone this year. This is our year. I love that attitude. And that's why I said I need that positivity in chat today. I do. And it's not that I'm scared. I told you why I feel like I do. It's not because of the past. It's not because of the past. I feel the way I do in the present because I hate our bench. And I think Matisse Thybulle is better than PJ Tucker. Maybe I overrate Thybulle. Maybe I underrate Tucker. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's Maybelline. But in my opinion, you would have been better off with Thybulle here. That being said, that's why I don't feel that great about this year's team in the present. Our bench is whack. It's still not a good... You have DeAnthony Melton, which is incredible. But Georges Niang is still overused. I don't believe in McDaniels. I haven't seen enough from him. One good game? I didn't really pay attention to the 2 games at the end of the year, so if he put up numbers then, we'll see. But right now, it's just I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm drinking already. We're getting lit. It's going down. I'm gonna be yelling at this TV even if no one's here. That being said, I don't see any anything different in a positive way outside of, which these are two very big things, by the way. Joel Embiid and James Harden, I think, are both playing at a level right now that maybe we haven't seen as Sixers yet going into the playoffs. But I'm a little... Maxi's been inconsistent. I'm off the Tobias Harris thing. PJ Tucker is what it is. But look, one game and everything changes for me. Let's see PJB playoff PJ. Let's see what every know-it-all has been telling me all year. Let's see it. Sixers at 1, Phillies at 4, Union at 7:30. I'm not leaving at all today. You just got like a thing of pizza rolls in one chair next to you, and a thing of like a case of beer, and I don't know why it's how I picture you today, Joe. The ultimate sportsman, like not even the ultimate sports millennial. Like I gotta have my pizza rolls. Gotta have my pizza rolls. Go Potee. Sixers ain't getting past the second round though. We'll see. I kind of fear that as well. I'm not going to put it out in the universe, but that's my fear, and that's been the topic of today. By the way, welcome to chat. I see it's your first time chat. First time in chat. Hopefully, you can give us a follow and be in here a little more often and realize that it's before Sixers game. Oh, and you dropped us the follow. I really appreciate that. It's before Sixers game, so if chat attacks you for that, you got to take that with a grain of salt. We're passionate people. But yeah, it's what we try to do here. Even though we're all thinking it, we're going to try to just force positivity in, which is why you may not have been here. But I gave my thoughts on how I feel about the Sixers. The positive is Joel Embiid and James Harden. The negative is this bench. That's how I feel about this team. That being said, we are going to just give them our energy, and we'll see. I do think that this Nets, the Nets matchup, while I give them respect because I love Mikal Bridges, I know I say this about a lot of players that I feel like any player that I like that's not on the Sixers, I just say he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. So it's like you're either one of my favorite players in the NBA or I just hate you, which is kind of true, especially if you're not on the Philadelphia team. It's just a matter of I give them respect because of Mikal Bridges and how good he is and how just solid. Man, I wish my team would have drafted a guy like. What's that? I'm being told by the imaginary producer in my head that we did draft Mikal Bridges. Oh, I have snapped on that many times. Carlton Todd dropped in 5 gifted subs. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of War Room Philly, so I appreciate that. Especially with this being my only current source of income. I appreciate that. But yeah, we're getting it. It's just all popping off. I guess we got one by one. I get subs so infrequently that they'll come in. I guess I got 2 more. But yeah. Let me turn my headphones down so I can continue to talk. Again, thank you for that, Steve. I appreciate that. But yeah, we're just gonna roll with some positivity moving into this game. I think out of the matchups in the bottom tier, the Sixers caught the favorable one in the Nets as far as matchups go for the Sixers. But look, you can't really overlook this team. I think is Curry's playing, right? Yeah, if Curry's healthy, Spencer Dinwiddie is a Sixers killer. So look, I don't want to just overlook this team. I still think the Sixers win in 5 or 6. It's really, really hard to get an upset in the first round. If any team's gonna do it, though, hey, but no, we're not gonna have Curry. Hey man, Curry didn't ask to leave. Curry didn't ask to leave. I got no hate for Curry. I don't love Curry, I think, as much as the casual 76ers fan does. I think he was far too inconsistent. And if he felt he was cold, he would have a bit of Ben Simmons in him where he would get rid of that ball pretty quick. Sometimes you want to see the shooter shoot, even if he's missing it at times. So there were times where I felt like Curry would just disappear. But I mean, if you go back to one of his last games as a Sixer, I mean, if you go back to that Atlanta Hawks series, he was trying to will them to victory. So I got no hate for Curry. I don't have a ton of love for him, but I respect him as a player. You certainly don't want to leave him open. Oh yeah, he's the enemy by all means, and that's why I'm bringing him up. I'm bringing him up because, hey, they have him. And these are the things that are both positive and negative about him. Yeah, you got, and again, Spencer Dinwiddie is, he's a Sixer killer. Now, F Spencer Dinwiddie, him I got hate for. Because Spencer Dinwiddie is a below average NBA player. Then he plays the Sixers and he's an MVP. So, full on bleep Spencer Dinwiddie. But, that's what this team's got. I don't really, I'm not really threatened by Patty Mills or Royce O'Neal or really much more of their bench, or Nick Claxton. There's Spencer Dinwiddie. Hey man, let's make him look like it. Honestly, the Nets don't have a chance. And again, that's kind of the NBA's built that way, right? The NBA, it's really hard to get an upset in the first round. So that's why I don't want to disrespect the Nets, but respectfully, because of what the Sixers are, which some of us consider a championship contender, or at least an East Coast contender, this should be a tune-up series. And this is where, they're going to play some tough games, but we're going to be getting players used to playoff minutes and things like that. So it's, yeah, I have absolutely no respect for this team. Hey, go for it. And that's, once I get off this microphone, I'm gonna talk and act the same way. But I feel like it's my, due diligence, if you will, to at least on the microphone talk a little smarter than I would as just a pure fan. I think this should be a game, I think this is going to be a series where the Sixers win in 5 or 6. So I really lean 5 too. My heart tells me 5. They'll lose 1 in Brooklyn, maybe even the 3rd. Maybe we'll have a chance to sweep. In my opinion, it's obviously the way you want it. You want to go into this and be up 3-0. It's stupid to say, but you want to win both at home, and you want to put the pressure on them. But we'll see. You know me, Anthony. This is the most hype and positive I've been. No, you're absolutely right. I've never in my life seen you more positive about the Sixers. And I'll say this, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. If the Sixers go on that run, it's gonna, the run that you predict, it's gonna make you look incredibly smart. And again, I don't mean that in a I don't mean that in that you look stupid. But I mean that in that you're the only one in chat saying it. Maybe that's why you're saying it, but you've been saying it all year, so I don't think it's a front. You really have. So I will give you, and as a Sixers fan, I'm going to be elated if you are right, and I'm still rooting for that. And but yeah, it's gonna give you an extreme amount of credibility. Not that you don't have it already. Again, I don't mean that tongue in cheek. There's no ill will behind that. Embiid is just playing at a different, and points 1 and 2. Joel Embiid, James Harden. And something about James Harden, I think I read it this morning. Something about James Harden quote that just came out. Let me try to pull up instead of just going off of memory. It's so hard to find the quote. I think it was, maybe I can do it on Twitter. I think it was... Perfect, I found it. This is via John Clark on his Twitter. In fact, let's do a little of this. You guys can read it with me. Oops, my face is here now. Just a quote right here. Get rid of Discord. I'm excited. My energy, my pace, my aggressiveness is going to be better. I'm just more comfortable and more confident in what I'm supposed to be doing out there. So that's James Harden on this season and what makes him different than last year. Combination of trying to work but not overwork and making sure it's the right amount. I'm prepared. I'm extremely prepared. I'm going to play 40 minutes tomorrow at the minimum. So just training my body, getting the right lifts and being able to out there and play 40 and be efficient and effective in those 40 minutes. I always do that. I always get the wrong screen after I do that, and then it clears chat. Now I lost all previous chat on screen, at least. You have the freaking points per game and assists per game leader on the same team. Yeah, it's dynamic. What we've seen right now, it's truly special between both James and Joel Embiid. Actually, I take it back. Philly might make it past round 2, but the Bucks, that's scary. Hey, we take that. You've been here. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Gopati? You got to phonetically sound out your name. That, or if you're part of the Facebook family, you can tell us your like your Facebook name, if you will, because that's, if you notice, I'd say a lot of chat by their God-given name, by their Christian names, if you will. No, but look, you've been here for what? Not even a half hour, and we're already slowly converting you. So we take those. We do. We take those. I had to just realize how much easier it is if I lower my chair. I could talk into the mic instead of leaning down and ruining my chiropractor's work. But yeah, that's good. See, that's the positive vibes we need now. Go pot. It's Go Potty. Okay. I like it. Bit odd, but we'll go with it. Bucks don't scare me at all. Grayson Allen is such a hate the face, punch the face. But Drew Holiday is such a respect the face for what he was here. And man, Giannis, like I said, I already gave Giannis his just due. I'm not going to do it again. If there's any MVP in this league other than Joel Embiid, it's Giannis. It's not Jokic. I'm sorry, it's not. Oh, he gets a lot of... Oh, great, he passes the ball because he can't do it himself. Get a point guard. That's what our point guard does. Our center, he gets his assists because he's double teamed so much. He kicks it to the open man, and that's one way you can really work through this offense. Giannis is a bum. I can only read that comment in that voice because dude, no, get out of here. I know it's a joke too. That's why I gotta read it. He's a bum. I tell you what, if we get to that point to where we're playing Giannis, first off, that's mission's kind of accomplished. But that's where my PJ Tucker love or hate will really be solidified, because that's where he earns his money, is if he can guard Giannis, because really nobody can. Basketball's easy. Shoot the ball, score the ball. True. And in Embiid's case, you don't even have to shoot, although he does. In Embiid's case, you can just dunk ball. But he loves them little boop, boop, fadeaways. We got this much of the show left. We got this much show left. No, but not serious. We've got about a half hour. And by all means, obviously Sixers heavy. But at any point, if you guys want to talk Phillies, there is a Phillies game probably coming up right after the Sixers game, as Joe in chat was talking about. So we can check that out. And but yeah, I mean, the Phillies, look, as far as the Phillies go, obviously still not as a team playing as effectively as we can. Bryson Stott, though, absolutely crushing it to start the season. Nick Castellanos, we call him Nicky Doubles in the group chat. Nicky Doubles, he's doing his thing, but it's, man, watching him, and look, I only know so much. I'm not a pro, right? Watching Nick Castellanos, I don't see any power. I don't see any power left in his bat. Now, he's doing the things he's doing, and that's fantastic, and I'm not here to bash him. I just worry that the guy that's currently in our 4-hole is a tall doubles hitter from here on out, and we'll see. We will see on that. What I can say is the positive to that, and what I would imagine someone with maybe more knowledge than me could speak to is, hey, he's hitting the ball. He's seeing it. He's laying off of pitches a lot more. More in particular, that slider down and outside. So there's some things to be positive. But as far as I'm just a little concerned about power numbers right now when it comes to Castellanos. But this is not me bashing on Castellanos, although it does seem to be, since I've gone negative on Castellanos, it's working. But we'll see. So yeah, before the show's over, can I give you a Stanley Cup prediction? Let me see something. You guys can't see my screen, right? All right, cool. I'm gonna do I'll do a bracket right here. Oh my god, alright. Well, apparently I'm not, because it's sending me verification codes. I mean, Jesus, Maron. Gotta become more... Oh, and I saw something, while I'm doing this, I'll try to multitask, but you guys know I saw the thing about the base running. It's too much. The base running is getting to me. Between the Phillies making their own bonehead moves and Dusty Lofton just being inconsistent himself, it's too much. It's, maybe a product of not enough players. This is the players. Dusty Lofton, none of these excuses count for. Dude, you got one friggin' job. And I'd rather you be over-aggressive than under-aggressive. You got one job. So, in the case of Lofton, none of these. But as far as the players go, look, I think maybe some of the team misfunctions has to do with, a bunch of players, a lot of players playing in the World Baseball Classic. That being said, I thought you'd get some positives out of the World Baseball Classic too, and maybe Schwarber hitting as hot, or not Schwarber, although, he's got a couple of home runs, but maybe Turner. Turner's been hitting the ball. He hasn't had a home run yet, which he was doing a shit ton of in the World Baseball Classic and spring alike. We haven't seen him hit a home run, but his average is up. And JT has been playing well, but that's what we expect out of him now. It's not like he's not like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, he's not overproducing, so I don't think that we saw, any positives from really any of the players as far as the World Baseball Classic goes. I'll tell you one thing, though, as a fan, it was a positive, because that was an incredible stage, and we saw all of the Phillies really shine in a national spotlight. So I think that there is definitely, not to be taken without, without appreciation. Man, it's still not letting me sign in. Oh, I see why. But yeah, I will. If I can do a damn bracket, I'll fill out a out one. I guess I can do one imaginary, pretend style here too. But I was gonna actually do it interactive with chat. But man, NHL. All right, forget it. We'll just do this. Let's go to this. Let's go. Let me see everything. So, and I saw your bold prediction, Joe. But I don't care. I would put Avalanche. I would put Avalanche here. Wild. So it'll be Avalanche, Wild. Boring, but I go Knights and Oilers. Over here, Boston, Tampa, Islanders, Rangers. A couple upsets there at the bottom. You know what? Steve's in chat. I go Devils. Devils over the Rangers. That's for Steve. That's for our Devils fan joining chat today. So we'll have the Devils there. Then we go back up. It's Avalanche versus Wild. Boom, Avalanche going in. Then we got Oilers versus the Knights. Boom, Oilers go in. Up here we got Boston versus Tampa. Upset alert. Tampa moves on. And then we have Carolina versus the Devils. Carolina moves on. Sorry, Steve. Then we would have, we'll stay in the East Coast, we'll have Carolina versus the Bolts. Bolts move on. Over here we have Avalanche versus Edmonton. Edmonton move on, and I think Edmonton win the Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid. Enough said. Yeah, I mean, that team's got lights out talent other than McDavid as well. So that's my prediction. And if I can never actually sign in, I will. But that's my prediction. Admittedly, been down on the NHL this year, so if you think that's stupid, by all means, call me out. But that's what I would go. I do know what. Yeah, and I mean, look, definitely definitely bleep the Rangers, but also bleep the Devils. Devils ownership, of course, the same as the Sixers ownership, though. And now the Commanders ownership. If any non-Philly team. So Steve, Philly sports fan, Joe Heston. He's kind of like and I don't mean this in a bad way. Again, he's kind of the atypical Philadelphia fan, where it's very much he's knowledgeable of sports, but he's also bleep anyone that is not wearing my colors, and it's we're passionate people. We're passionate people, Philly fans. Man, I got all the cups I could put. That's tough though. That is where the F the Devils comes from, though. Growing up, having Lindros, Leclerc, Hextall, Desjardins, Flyers had some really good teams throughout the 90s, and yet the Devils come out with the cups. It feels much like your other sports team of choice, whereas throughout most of the early 2000s and such, the Eagles were the class of the NFC East, but when you look at who comes down with the trophies in the case, it's Eli Manning and the Giants. So, I mean, look, if you talk trash on Brodeur, it would merely be out of Philly sports hate. But yeah, of course, he's a Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the best of all time. Not probably. He is one of the best of all time. Maybe probably the best of all time. I go Patrick Waugh. A little bit of a bias. I go Patrick Waugh. But yeah, man. Yeah, you did. So yeah, it's 12:45. We got about 15 more minutes, chat. So, since like I said earlier in the show, 102, blow by, boom, boom, boom. If there's any, since we're somehow back to hockey, go ahead. No, yeah, I guess fat one. We could refer from that, but most of the language is okay anymore. You guys have seen I've lightened up now that Keith and I aren't like in college and actively aspiring to be on the radio. We realize that streaming people want cursing, so you see. I try not to drop too many F-bombs unless it's organic. Like, I'm not going to just say it because I see it in chat or things like that. But when it's organic and I feel that F-bomb, I've said it. So we can, I think I called someone a shithead earlier, so I know it's okay. We're all older now. It's 2011's a long time away. And that's, Joe, you've been here since. So when it comes to the Rangers, all F-bombs are acceptable. True. And again, I'm not, when I feel it organic, right now, I am not passionate enough about the Flyers to drop an organic F-bomb on the Rangers, but yeah, fuck them. Oh, I just did. See, it just comes naturally. Oh, I just got banned on YouTube. No. That screwdriver started kicking back immediately, chat. But yeah, that's the NHL. I'm still not signed into my fucking anything on Twitter? Do I miss anything? Yeah, I don't see anything new on Twitter. Flyers to the... Wait, what? Oh, the old... I missed it. I read the second chat first. Put Hart on the Oilers and they cruise to the... Yeah. 100%. 100%. Steve, thanks for joining. We're going to be rolling out in not too long, too. So, I appreciate that. I was only kidding when I said you guys wouldn't. But we'll. Hey, I'll either see you tonight or I'll be gaming with you tonight. We'll see how it goes. I got some house issues right now, so we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to get my air conditioning fixed. But yeah, I will at the least be in Discord and let's pop some domes tonight, Steve. Let's pop some domes. Steve's talking trash on his Counter-Strike skills. Hasn't played in months. Comes in and drops a casual 20 bomb. So, okay. But yeah, Flyers really did used to be the Ustream MV. Like, man, I do, like, and again, we're going back to 2011. 2010, what happened in 2010? Flyers went to the Stanley Cup playoffs on an incredible run with Michael Leighton as their goalie. Michael Leighton and, Boucher, oh my god, I had a brain fart. I honestly thought it was going to last longer than that. Leighton, I'll never forget Michael Leighton for a lot of reasons, but he's got the same goddamn birthday as me. When I look up Philadelphia sports athletes with my birthday, he's the only one that comes up. I mean, this asshole out of everybody... Can, we get one of these youngins? Can, the next... In matter of fact, if Bijan Johnson's birthday is May 19th, I'll be his biggest fan. Damn, this is the most Eagles we haven't talked any Eagles today, chat. But that's okay, because April 27th, we will we'll be doing an entire show dedicated to the Eagles. We'll be going live at some point throughout that entire night. You know how draft night we do. That was an important text, I swear. It's about the show, because behind the scenes we've been working on something big, and I just remembered it now somehow, and I want to tell you guys it really bad. I want to tell you it really bad, but I want to make sure it's safe and secure first. But big guest coming up on War Room Philly, potentially next week. That's the tease. If I get the text, I'll go through with the whole thing. But there's a big potential for Wednesday's show as far as a guest goes. I think really to date, our biggest and dare I say only guest has been Sean Brace, which pretty big pull, if you ask me. He's doing radio 3 to 6. No, it's not Embiid. So here's the tease. It's baseball related. It's Phillies related. He has a ring with the Phillies. But it's not superstar, all right? It's not. We're Room Philly, but it's good. Just don't don't start with Charlie Manuel, all right? Come on, Charlie Manuel doesn't know how to work a webcam. He seems like he would do anything. Maybe. But again, I'm not. I don't guess. Don't guess, because I don't want to tease this, but just think, and or maybe if you put the names out in chat, who knows? I'm not gonna say yes, but just know, if it doesn't happen next week, it's happening, and we'll announce it when the time comes. But we got an 08er coming on sometime soon, potentially Wednesday. I don't even want to say I can't keep going. It's not because I'm going to give you more hints. I know my man Greg is busy right now, so I'm not going to hold it against him if he can't answer before the show's over. But Greg booked it, and props to him. He deserves credit already. So yeah. Again, let's we got like 8 minutes left or so. Let's start talking. It's not, I can say, since Allen Iverson wasn't a part of the 2008 Phillies World Series team, I can confidently say it was not him. But yeah, it'll be really cool. And it's something I didn't expect people to ever say yes to, and I guess I fear rejection, so I never put myself out there. But Greg went out there and did a goddamn thing, and I'm excited, and I keep checking the phone, hoping he answered. I really meant to say, I really meant to ask before the show this, but I know Greg's got something going on in turn, so I'm like, it's tough. But yeah, let's go ahead and start, kind of talking about this Sixers game and getting them Posy Mojo vibes going again. Which is disconnected. All right, you guys can hear me. That's all that matters. Yeah, I think that, again, this series, while I respect the Brooklyn Nets, they're a team that has went through hell in the past 2 years as far as a bunch of prima donnas. One is on our team, and I love them. But in a way, a bunch of prima donnas. The two in particular, when I say that, are Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, who instilled and still do instill a toxic environment. With all of that being said, they're a 6th seed in the East. Again, respect your opponent, man. This is a team that had to trade away Kevin Durant at some point this year, and Kyrie Irving. Both seemingly refused to play. They have Ben Simmons on the team since last year. Again, another player who refuses to play. And they're a 6th seed in the NBA Eastern Conference. Give that team credit. That being said, I still think the Sixers should win in 5. They might win in 6. My official prediction, since it feels like I keep wavering, is 5. I'm willing to put, the safe bet is 6. If I wanted to be safe, I'd say 6. But I'm going to go, I'll put a little bit of fan in it. I'll put a little bit of Chat's positive energy. I'm going to go Sixers in 5. I think they'll lose 1 in Brooklyn, and they'll win it at home in front of the home fans. Out in this, I don't want second round. I mean, if you guys want to give the predictions, by all means, predict anything you want. And out in the second round in 6 is a good prediction. I'm not gonna lie. That being said, here at this show, I want to channel a little bit of that energy that I've channeled in the past, where we're gonna take it a little bit. We're only here for an hour or so a week. We don't have to theorize as much as, let's say, people that do it every day. We're going to focus our energy just on this Nets series while this Nets series is here. Because we're going to think sports. We're going to think like the athletes. And we're going to go one series at a time. And with that, I think that's how we achieve Sixers going, and I quote, all the effing way. It's possible. Joe, if you've noticed, I've never once really refuted you and said, like, oh, you're an idiot, that can't happen. Never once. I just go, I hope you're right. Because, again, and this is my final thoughts as we wrap up this show and why I am most positive about the Sixers right now. PPG, APG. You have the leader in both. And that's a quote from Joe Heston in chat. You have the leader in points per game and assists per game, respectively. And all I ask James Harden, just be aggressive in the second half. Joel can not even second. Be the closer of this team. I think that in the NBA playoffs, in particular, in the playoffs in the NBA, in today's game, it is a guard-driven league. And yes, we have a 7'2" big man that can do things that Allen Iverson could do. But at the end of the day, in today's game, it comes down to guard play. And I think that the way to win in the fourth quarter comes down to you kick that ball down low to Embiid, and Embiid now becomes the point guard, and who's open? Boom, because he's going to get double teamed, and that's when your guards have to excel. You want to get James Harden in a position to where he's the one kicking it to Embiid and giving the feed, or the hedge defender comes off of Harden. If Harden is the one left open from three, he needs to connect on these open threes. Be the closer of this team. I know the Phillies bullpen's a little shaky right now. We need James Harden to be Brad Lidge. And that's, I really feel like I didn't give enough credit to Maxey all show. But Maxey's just got to be consistent. Maxey is the other one, guard play. Be open and hit your three. Now, Maxey's this season shooting from an incredible percentage from downtown, so he just needs to do it for more consistent. But Maxey's going to be the guy that he's got to give you around 20 every game, but then you're going to look up one game and you'll probably, holy shit, Maxey gave you 39 tonight. He'll have a game where he stands out, especially if this is a long run. Maxey will have 2 30-point games. This series, I believe it. I believe it. Especially if Curry's the one defending him. I believe it. I really do. I think this series is the one that, this is where you want Maxey to get going, to buy. And again, I'm not trying to. I've given the Nets a lot of credit, but this is where, when I say it's a tune-up series, I want Maxey to get going. I want Tobias to get going. I want another 12-point game out of PJ Tucker. One, because we know what we're gonna get. Assuming health, we know what we're gonna get out of Joel Embiid, and we pretty much know what we're going to get out of James Harden. So, in my opinion, it's a tune-up series that's going to still look like playoff games. These are by no means going to be easy, but it's where you're going, all right, this is going, game time? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. All right, with that, guys, thank you all for tuning in, both live and on demand. I'm going to it takes a minute for my Comcast to boot up. Thank you guys all for tuning in, both live and hey, if you watch this on demand, look, I think we covered enough sports content that this is still a good VOD, I hope. Because it wasn't like we just talked about game one. We talked a lot about the series. So if you made it through this, though, on the VOD, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You're almost a bigger star, but the real stars are the ones in chat and that are here live. And if you want to be a star like that, twitch.tv/WarRoomPhilly. And if you're here in chat, and especially we got some new blood today in Go Potty, at WarRoomPhilly everywhere. Facebook.com/WarRoomPhilly is really the way to kind of get involved in the community, in the everyday chat. And then with that, that's like on slower shows, and especially when it's just me, I go to Facebook a lot more. Now today, it's a pregame. It was a little bit different of a feel. But that's where you go. And again, look us up on YouTube. If you look up Anthony Pinto and or War Room Philly, you should be able to find this channel. Make sure you subscribe to us. Because I really want to make YouTube/War Room Philly, and we need more subscribers to do that. And it's free to subscribe at YouTube, so all it takes is a little bit of effort. And I think the YouTube link is even in the Twitch feed, so go ahead and check that out. But yes, we will talk all things in the future. We got to get together for gaming. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So again, thank you guys all for tuning in, both live and on demand. With that, we are going to go watch the 76ers hopefully dismantle the Brooklyn Nets in game 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get that clean sweep going. Let's get it going. And while I don't think it can happen, let's get it going. So with that, I am Anthony Pinto, and we are out of here. Let's go, Sixers.